Welcome, everybody. It is Aaron and Alex over here with Villar Group in Arizona. And welcome back if you've watched our previous videos. If this is your first time, well, welcome as well. We appreciate you taking the time. Well, hey, let's kick off real quick. Before we kind of get into our topic of the video, really just want to stress to you guys how important it is that these videos are to be value pieces into your world, right? Hopefully you find them valuable, but our goal is not to talk about Arizona, or be Arizona centric in our information, because you know what, when that time comes and you have a client there, we'll make sure to take care of that with them. But what we really want is stuff that's working well in our business or things that we're learning on a day-to-day basis, and want to share that with you guys. And so our focus today, and you know what, even before I talk about our focus, hey, Aaron, can we say together a quick little thank you? Actually, a big thank you, big thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Yes.
much. Everybody down in the bottom there, awesome referrals this month. I mean, so grateful. Absolutely going to be looking after your clients that way.
Yeah, we appreciate each and every single one of you, right? You guys see the names coming across, but it means a ton when you guys trust us with your clients with the referrals. And it doesn't matter if they're buying that same week that you refer them, or they're gonna need a few months or a year before they do. We're gonna stay in touch with them. We're gonna make sure they're taken care of. And so all of you have been fantastic. Thank you so much. And so yeah. And one last little disclaimer. So our focus today, right, is sharing our experiences through creating leverage in our business through tech and people, right? And so what does that mean? We're going to show off some tools, right, and some websites or homepages of some of the tech that we use. And our disclaimer, this is not some kind of affiliate pitch. We don't get compensated. You're not going to find a link, with a little referral code after it. Like, we're just sharing with you what we use. So please don't feel like this is some kind of advertisement or affiliate pitch by any means. But you know what? These tools have been huge for us, and that's what we chose to talk about today. So let's dive into it. So, Aaron, you and we started Villar Group, and one of the first tools that we came across, right? Man, we're huge command people, right? We leverage it, designs, the opportunities. What's the more obvious one, right? The referral network. But sometimes we need some tools outside of command to really kind of step up our value proposition. Would you agree? And then more importantly, make our lives that much easier. Yeah.
100%. Look, these tools are things that both Alex and I, in fact, many of them are ones that Alex had picked up years ago, and we both had started using them. So it's so familiar to us. And the fact that we're still using them suggests that, hey, it's done something for us. And right, leverage, many people think about it just as time. This is leverage in the fact that we've developed systems and processes where we've integrated some of these products to make it a lot easier for us to stay in touch with our clients.
Yeah, big time. And for those of you that might be newer to watching our videos, along with partnering with Aaron, right, having our real estate business, I'm also a team leader for my market center. And one of the first tools that I want to talk about, right, Aaron, that we use at a high level, and I wanted to show off to you guys today, is Monday.com. So let's share our screen real quick. And guys, so Monday.com is, Aaron, would you agree? It's basically like a spreadsheet on steroids, right?
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
Completely. And the fact that it allows you to integrate external functionality, but keeping it all in one place is just key.
Yeah, tons of integrations that you can tie to, whether that's Gmail, Google Calendar, Zapier functions, a lot of stuff like that, right? And what you guys are seeing here is one of the boards. A board is basically like you would probably create a whole brand new spreadsheet, right? Is the way to look at a board. And this particular board, we're gonna, when we get to the people portion of this, and what it looked like in my world to get an assistant for the things that I need. This is one of the boards that I use with my assistant, right? And what her daily tasks look like. You guys can see the different categories that we have, right? Command, we have social media, reminders. And so I have the social media one open, and it just says create a social media post based on the social media calendar. And we have a link to the calendar and a little note. And that's really helped to ensure that I'm posting on a consistent daily basis, right? Because social media has it's a huge platform for me, through Facebook and Instagram. And this has allowed, my assistant, this is her reminder to make sure she makes that social media post. And Aaron and I, we use it, to make sure we're tracking things like our referrals and such, and also in other aspects of our business. And Aaron, what's been your favorite takeaway from Monday.com?
I mean, frankly, reminders, and then the check and balance associated with it, right? So integrating our Gmail things when, we haven't heard something, or depending on a stage that we've put together with a lead or an activity, if something hasn't happened and it's not ticked off within here, we get a reminder message, and that will keep popping up until that's complete. So it was key to developing processes within our business. And again, when we get back to the sort of the human portion of leverage through technology and people, we can kind of talk about when you're looking at your business and growing it, where you're adding team members or taking on an assistant, you have to have systems and you have to have processes. And if you don't document those, so you can, you can't manage what you can't measure, and vice versa. So, Monday.com's been really helpful in that.
Yeah. And you know what, Aaron, well, it all kind of came into fruition because I started using it for my market center. And then I was like, it was kind of really helping with our onboarding experience with our agents. And then all of a sudden I was like, this needs to just be part of everything that I do. I mean, it helps in such a big way. And so, yeah, highly recommended, Monday.com. And so, all right, so let's pivot from Monday.com. Aaron, what's another one that we've been a big fan of that I know you still use to this day? So
yeah.
So Avabot. So guys, not sure if you guys are familiar with it, but I'll share the screen. This is so it's avabot.ai. You guys can kind of see it here on the screen. And if you have ever tried to figure out, they say it best, right? I'm not even going to try to recreate it, right? Put your gifting and relationship building on autopilot. And man, has that been so true. And Aaron, we were kind of joking about how, you and I, we've known each other, since when you started your real estate career, right? We were in the same market center, right? 7 years ago. And this was just one of the tools we started using. I think this is probably going back 5 years, right? Avabot, if I'm not mistaken. And man, how we got a really good response from clients being able to say, hey, Alex or Aaron want to send you a gift, and they get a text message to say, can you just answer a couple of questions, right? And based on how you answer those questions, we're going to send out a gift for you. And it kind of put it, like they say, on autopilot for us. Would you agree?
Yeah. Customized gift comes across to them on that end. Again, there's nothing from, we're not getting anything through putting this out there, but I think the response that we've had from our clients has been tremendous. And, I'm not great at picking out baskets of this or that. At the end of the day, this queries what are the things that you like? Is it tech stuff? Is it chocolates? Is it alcohol? Is it what are those different mix of gifts that you actually like? And it'll put together a custom package based on your budget. So you assign the budget, they put together the gifts, send it across, and then they solicit things like feedback from your clients. You can also set up automated things like birthday reminders, right? So I have all my clients' birthdays in there. I send them a small gift every birthday, and it just comes full circle. So I think it's been a great tool for me in my business.
Yeah, and here's the last thing I'll say about that, right? Is with Avabot, the fact that it asks for that recommendation, you get little nice one-liners from your clients, which are great for social media, right? Sometimes the full paragraph recommendations, those are great for your website, but I love it because Ava kind of gets these nice little one-liners like, hey, you were fantastic in the transaction, and thank you, for this, that you can kind of copy and paste, which is really great. But so let's move on from Avabot, right? So Aaron, you just said something really important, which I love, which is birthday gifts, right? So let me share what I've been doing, right? So AmCards, okay? So guys, AmCards is, if you're familiar, let me give you another example, send out cards, right? But AmCards was created by a fellow KW agent, and The reason that I personally use them is I love all the templates that they have and the kind of more unique gifts that you can pick from, right? And so one of my strategies for my touch, right, my database touch, my 36 touch, right, we're all KW and so I use AmCards to be able to send out birthday cards and thank you cards, and it's been such a huge help. And now with my assistant, like we're going to get to, man, they log on. I tell them what I want the message to say, but they're logging on, pasting it. It looks handwritten from me, right? It's got a nice little marketing piece on the back of the card, that they're going to get in the mail. And then I personally, I'll choose a quantity of brownies, just kind of depending on the situation, or size of the family, for example, right? And so I'm able to send out birthday cards, with brownies attached or a appreciation book attached to it, which has been really awesome. And I'm a big fan of it. And Aaron, something you've been using as well, right?
Yeah, no, I like the customization aspect of it. Not that, you can't really drive efficiencies and leverage if everything's customized. But there is one thing I like about it is you have the ability to go in there and, we'll go back and stock a social media profile and copy a picture from their social media and throw it in the card. Just a reminder that, hey, I'm in touch with you. I see what's happening in your family. Congratulations, whatever it might be. And it's just that unique touch that, I get lots of great feedback because of it.
Yeah, and you know what? And great learning moment for us, right? Being more on purpose about capturing those pictures, whether it's at the title company, as we're getting kind of back to that, right? Signing at the actual title company or them in front of their house, and be able to take that picture and add it to the card that's being mailed to them, right? Something that they'll kind of save in their drawer, they'll not maybe put it up on the fridge, which is awesome. And I've gotten the bit of awesome response. Guys, we kind of joke, right? Like, who really sends out birthday cards and thank you cards, right? Like, that's why we really preach it at KW, right? Because people kind of joke, like, I think the last person to send me a birthday card was my grandma, right? People don't normally, they're used to getting bills in the mail, and then here comes your card. And so it's been a huge leverage piece for us to really be in relationship with our database. So
let me just throw one in, Alex. You and I didn't talk about this, but you made me remember one of the tools that you had used. You downloaded an app, and unfortunately, I'm not remembering, and I'm hoping that you're going to remember what that was. But you used a really cool, unfortunately, one of your clients, somebody passed in their family, and you basically took a photo and you integrated it into like a picture frame or something. You'd mailed that to them.
All right.
I knew I'd
Yeah,
catch you
on the
guard with that
spot,
one.
Aaron. On the spot. Man.
And I know I have it in my apps. I'll tell you what. Sorry to put you on the
No
spot.
worries. I'm glad you brought it up. You know what? Here, we'll do this. If you remember it, if it comes up, we'll circle back
Keepsake.
around. Yeah.
Keepsake.
So, what's that?
Was it Keepsake?
Keepsake. Man, I'm trying to think. That one's not ringing a bell, but man, that's an awesome.
Same idea though. So the idea is, doesn't matter whether you use. Yeah, the idea is you can upload one of your pictures that you took from social media or something else, or like a saying, and it will mail them a framed, a picture. Anyhow,
that's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Awesome. Moving on.
Yeah. Then that definitely sounds like. And by the way, tie it to that though, right? Like being able to send it to something that's super memorable, for them, right? Whether it's that house purchase or something that happened with their family, and that all these tools, right? Like helping people remember that you're thinking about them, right, Aaron? So which is awesome. So, all right. So, Aaron, you actually introduced me to this one. So, you want to tell me a little bit about it? Tell me kind of a little bit about Boomerang here.
Yeah, so I don't know if it was I think it was a lender partner had introduced these guys, and it's because she was from Colorado and she was using them there. I guess they started in Colorado, but I looked at their about info. It looks like they're spreading all throughout the country. What I like about it is it'll send them a very large postcard every month with sort of like, hey, buy one appetizer, get a free appetizer at a main restaurant within your city, or hey, get $10 off your next haircut at X company. So they use a range of, get a one Jamba Juice if you order another Jamba Juice, those types of things. And it comes across in a card to them every month. What I like about it is you get a very large chunk of real estate on that card. Almost a quarter of the card is your picture, courtesy of Aaron, and I will get people who will sending me a picture of the card saying, "Hey, thanks, Aaron." And
You did just yesterday.
It's not super unique, but it's effective, and it's very, very cost effective. I think I get it sent, with my picture, all those things for like 75 cents a card when it goes out. That's mailed cost. So
Yeah, I think on the website, and man, you might be maybe grandfathered in. I was looking at the pricing because you introduced it to me super recently, right? And I think one of the ones is that if you do it, send it out at least once a month, you get it for like 95 cents, and that includes the shipping cost or 75 cents, but they send them to you instead, right? To decide how you send them out.
They
But
send mine out, but yeah, maybe I don't
yeah,
know pricing, and the pricing probably may be different throughout the country. So look at it yourself.
true.
I just really like the fact that it offers me a big chunk of real estate on the card, and in turn, that just keeps my face and name in front of them on a regular basis.
Yeah, I was really impressed, man. I definitely have my tools that I use, and you kind of showed me this, and I was like, this may need to be my physical mailer touch in my touch program. So really a good one. Definitely recommend you guys check it out. And I've in real time, I think it was yesterday, if not the day before, Aaron, you showed me a screenshot of the text of one of your clients saying, "Hey, thanks for sending this, man, and could you give me a call?"
Yeah,
So
it was. In fact, yeah, it was indeed.
so which is awesome. So well, so let's pivot here, right? So guys, those are some of the technology pieces, right? And as we talk about the MREA and KW, we talk about people, right? We talk about growing through the seventh levels, right? And so, page 202 of the MREA, right? And so, people become a massively important piece. And so, Aaron, I think what we were going to do, right? Like, if I'm not mistaken, you, sir, you kind of looked up from Family Reunion, and we kind of talked about this in our last video, leveraging, and it doesn't always have to kind of break the bank, if you will. And so it came up the conversations about what? About the A's, right? And using companies like Cyberbacker and such. And so tell me a little bit about your experience, with Cyberbacker or not Cyberbacker, but I'm sorry, but like what you came to find out as you were kind of researching. Yeah.
Yeah, the process. So, clearly we get to a point where it's much more than we can handle. And I think many agents make the mistake saying, "Oh, look, I'll bring on a team member." And trust me, I did this years ago. And it's the wrong thing to do. You always need to start with assistant and build from that, sort of follow the models that are put in place. So I had left Family Reunion and said, "Hey, I'm going to be using Cyberbacker," and I was committed to that. And, but actually changed course after meeting with an agent in my office who, she was already my showing assistant. And save a long story, essentially what we've come up with is sort of a hybrid role of assistant and showing assistant for a 6-month period, which will transition. The point is I want her to work herself out of an assistant job and more into a more active team member job. And why is that? Why did you not select somebody? So she was great in terms of career visioning. But independent of that, I know that she wants more than just being my assistant. So what's happened here, we've got a dual benefit, meaning she's coming in, she's helping me document all the processes associated with our business, not only my personal business, but also Alex and my business, even on down to the referrals, making sure we have a process associated with everything, and that we can then action those items, put them onto things like Monday.com, et cetera. So through that process, learning much more about how I manage my business, stem to stern, and it's just really, really paying dividends. The fact is, in 6 months, when we're done through this whole process, she will have worked herself out of a job, which is the whole intent, because she learned something through the process. I gained a benefit. And keep in mind that a lot of people, when you start with an assistant, one of the hardest things to do is actually to document what are your processes. Do you actually have process document? Thankfully, I had a lot of these things, but they needed to be refined based on the change in my organization. So,
right. And that's where our tools come back into play, like Monday.com, right? Where we can start placing them somewhere, and there's a system to what that person's doing. And, what I love about what you just shared, Aaron, right? And I'll share, my version of what you did, right? But as a team leader, right? So team leader hat on right now, real quick, right? Is, hey, there are people that are needing opportunity out there. And sometimes, I see it in my agents' faces, right? Like start talking about that first admin hire and everything. And that can feel like oh, I got to go pay somebody 60,000 a year, right? And we freeze, right? I remember my first team leader, right? 10 years with KW, my first team leader was like, hey, you got, my business partner at the time, and was like, it's time for you guys to get help, right? And we wouldn't relinquish control because we were afraid of it. And it's funny now being in the team leader hat, and I'm just like, you guys can't leverage fast enough, right? And it doesn't have to be something big and scary like taking on somebody on a salary. Aaron, your example is so great, right? That you were able to say, hey, you were able to find an agent and said, hey, you want to be a successful agent, but in the meantime, I have a need, right? I can pay you a few dollars, right? And
I'll pay you what I would pay a cyberbacker, essentially, which
yeah,
if you sort of average it out, right, about 50% of what maybe you pay a starting agent, right?
yeah,
So take that money. I'm taking 50% time, because remember, when you hire an assistant at the beginning, you're going to have lots of time that's not filled for them, right? Because you're like, God, I don't know, there's so
you're
many
learning.
things
Yeah,
going
you're
to
learning yourself. Like, what should I? Number one, you're learning what should I have them do. Number two, giving up control kind of was one of our problems, right? Like actually giving the control up on some things, right? So, yeah, and that's great. And so that kind of, just to kind of pivot to my example and story. So I was able to leverage a friend of mine, right, who's basically stay at home mom, and she's got we all, kudos to the moms, right? Like they're working their full-time job being a stay-at-home mom, but looking for maybe a little bit more supplemental income, take some things off my plate. You guys saw on my Monday.com board, right? Say, hey, I just need you to go in command and make sure the tasks are taken care of, or remind me to take care of them. And then can you create a social media piece? Those two things, man, real simple, right? Give them a few $100 a month to just take care of those things daily for you. And what's really cool about it is that it helps them out, but that's going to translate to huge things for me because I'm actually being on purpose with my social media, making sure the birthday cards are being sent out, right? And so you don't, I just share that, look around in the world around you, and it doesn't have to break the bank. And I think that was a huge takeaway from family reunion and what we talked about in the last video, right? It doesn't have to break the bank, but man, what does that allow you to do for you to go keep doing what you're supposed to be doing best as an agent, is creating relationships.
Awesome. Really, really good feedback. Listen, thank you very much once again for all your referrals. Hopefully this has been helpful. Again, we're just trying to create elements of little nuggets of value that you can take away from this without focusing on what our inventory is locally. Believe me, we've got it down pat. We've got every stat. We can share the bank, but I think you probably get more value of us talking about things that we do in our business so you can leverage it in your business. So please keep Alex and I in mind for all your Phoenix, Scottsdale, and surrounding metropolitan area. And thanks again to those listed below who've sent referrals our way. So grateful. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Just to echo Aaron, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And until the next video, take care.
Thanks, guys.